If you're a fringe NBA vet, you hate the NBA draft. Oh, all these kids fulfilling their dream of taking your job. There's only so many spots on a team, so the new kid means someone is now unemployed. In fact, the NBA has about 486 total players every year. 70 of them are brand new, which means 14% of the league gets kicked out every year. Who are these guys? Scrubs? Not always. Like Serge Ibaka wanted a team this year but has to play overseas. Patrick Beverley too. Or Jabari Parker. Remember what this did to that man's soul. So who are the next victims? Well, there's a list of players who we're gonna look up this year and be like, what happened to that guy? First is Markelle Fultz. Why? Well, we all know about his tragic story to start in Philly, but think about this. People were so sure that he was the #1 pick. Sixers traded up 2 spots to get him. Boston fell to 3 and took Jason Tatum. Now, 7 years later, Tatum just won his first championship. Fultz is out of the league. What happened? Well, after a terrible 2 years as a Sixer, the Magic took a chance on him, and there were times it looked like he was a new player. I even made a Fultz is back video. The problem was his offensive game never panned out. 4 years in Orlando, averaged 11 points, 3 boards, and 5 assists. A horrific 48% from the field, 27% from 3, and bad free throws. And the team needed a point guard. I mean, they give him a lot of chances. But another big thing was injuries. 0 healthy seasons in the league. We know about the weird hitch in his shot, but his knees, torn ACL, and now small fractures in the actual bone. I feel bad because he's 26 years old, but not too bad. Made $87 million. But it is the first full day of NBA games tonight, which is so much fun, but obviously it's more fun, for me at least, to play Underdog. Yes, you can make a little money, but it makes every minute watching games that much more fun. And right now, every NBA-only entry is profit boosted on Underdog for NBA opening week, so there is no better place to play. I love pick'em. I pick higher or lower for whatever game I'm gonna watch that night or my favorite players. So let's check out my 2 best picks for the first full NBA slate. First pick is Tyrese Maxey, less than 7.5 assists. My second pick is Nick Batum, less than his 4 rebounds. And best of luck if you were tailing those picks. Check out this updated map to see if Underdog is available in your area. But the most important part is to use the promo code AMHOOPS. Not only do you get a free pick out of this, but also you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Next is even younger, Lonnie Walker IV. During his 1 start for the Celtics, he dropped 20 points in the preseason. Why is he not on a team? Well, a lot of people remember 2 things about Lonnie. 1, his wild hair when he was on the Spurs, but they traded Lonnie to the Lakers. The 2023 playoffs, Lonnie scored 15 points in the 4th quarter to go up 3-1 over the Warriors. His best moment in the NBA, and it was downhill from there. Last year on the Nets, 10 points a night, 2 boards and 1 assist. You gotta be better than that if you're terrible on defense. But the Celtics cutting Lonnie is a perfect example of the new NBA rules. Because Boston is over the second apron, it would have cost them $11 million in salary and taxes to keep him. So now teams are leaving their last roster spot open for cheaper G League players. It's just too much money to pay an actual NBA guy for the last spot on the bench. Next is older, but really weird. So TJ Warren looks like a friggin' all-star, right? Popped off for 53 points as a Pacer against Philly, then goes to the Suns, averages 31 points, 6 boards, elite defense in the bubble, 52% from 3. Then all of a sudden, he got injured and was out for 2 straight years. He broke a bone in his foot and then kept re-breaking it in rehab over and over. So he comes back for the Nets, and he's not the same. 8 points a game, 3 boards, 1 assist. But there's something else I noticed. This is TJ a few years ago on the Pacers. This is TJ now. What happened? Look, I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but dude gained weight, right? Is it possible that teams just don't want to take a chance on a 31-year-old who's not in shape? But another young guy without a team is Dennis Smith Jr., an example of overhype that didn't pan out. Such an early bloomer, he could in-game dunk at 11 years old, and we got the video to prove it. So good in high school, NBA players went to his games. So he gets drafted 9th by Dallas, but was traded once they got Luka, and things got got so out of control for him, his own Knick fans were chanting for his backup.
And a chant of "We want Frank" is starting here at the Garden. That's tough for a young man.
So after bouncing around the league, he refused to go play in Europe. He put on weight to try out for the NFL. But before the tryout, he got a call from the Charlotte Hornets. Turned out LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier got injured. So Dennis goes from out of the NBA to starting point guard in a month. And in his first week for Charlotte, scored a clutch bucket on one end, locked down Steph Curry on the other for a win. But that was a fluke. Bad for the Hornets and the Nets last year, and is out of the league as a top 10 pick at 26 years old. But what about Jay Crowder? Dude's always on some playoff team, right? But he made a big mistake that cost him his career. Jay thinks a lot of his game, so confident he likes to mess with LeBron James. Like, I'll go toe to toe with anyone, I'm not scared. The problem though, you get burned acting like that. Like, watch LeBron laugh in Jay Crowder's face like, yeah, you're not that good, buddy, let me show you. And he proceeds to torch Jay while everyone mocks him. But did he learn? No. Soon after, when the Suns said that Jay is not going to start or finish games anymore, he demands out. Puts out an all caps tweet like, one must seek work where he is wanted. Dude, you're a role player. Any job in the NBA is a good job. But instead, he goes to the Bucks, was not trusted in the playoffs, and is now out of the league. However, had he signed the extension that Phoenix wanted, he would still be on the Suns right now. Oops. But even a guy who is humble and nice is out. Everyone was concerned about Bismack Biyombo when he suddenly collapsed on the sideline for OKC last year. Straight passed out and fell over. Bismack said the problem was dehydration from fasting. A lot of people think it has to do with him not being in the league. That's not true. Look at how ineffective he's been on the court for years. A role player only chips in about 4 points and 3 boards a night. Truth is, he's been hanging around in the league because he's so good in the locker room. He's the type of guy who donated his entire salary last year to build a hospital back in his home in the Congo. He paid the tuition and housing of his 6 brothers and sisters so they could have a better life. I think people have loved having Bismack around for years, but at some point even that runs out, which is the same for Boban Marjanovic. Everybody's favorite teammate led the NBA in claps off the bench, but Boban had a little fun in his last NBA game. He missed a free throw on purpose and told the crowd he's doing it for them. Why? Well, he had just lost a jump ball to 6-foot-tall Xavier Moon, which is embarrassing because Boban's 7'3". Then it's garbage time, so the game's over, and Boban misses the first free throw. Then a sign comes up. If Boban misses again, free chicken for everyone. And even though he was in the away arena, he told the crowd, I got you, dinner's on me. So he misses, and that's the kind of guy Boban was and why he lasted in the NBA to begin with. But other notable guys who are out this year include Landry Shamet, Danilo Gallinari, former number 2 recruit Nasir Little, Jalen McDaniels, Reggie Bullock, Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, and Wes Matthews. Now, it's not definitely the end for all of these guys, like maybe Markelle Fultz, Landry Shamet, but it shows you how cutthroat the NBA is and why expansion might not be a bad thing. But one guy who's still around is Klay Thompson. Had an up and down preseason for Dallas, but there is a very concerning thing going on. His own coach, Jason Kidd especially, said something to the media about Klay, and it ain't good.